Thank you for auditing Professor Skye's Record Review, the always positive new music review show hosted by a French professor who's been thinking a lot about hip-hop lately. I'm going to be reviewing the album Somnia by B.o.B. Is it pronounced Bob? I don't know. I actually don't know how you pronounce his name. I want to address a kind of central paradox of my life and share it with you. As you may have heard on my channel earlier, I do actually work at a college. I don't represent the college. These videos are all my own views and do not represent any place you might learn I work at. But it is true that I work at a college, and I have just recently developed a minor in hip-hop studies. And actually, I just did the advertising for it right now. So you can kind of check that out right there. I had to cover up the name of my college so they know I don't think that I represent them. The hip-hop minor, the most influential cultural movement of the last 50 years, is finally getting the respect it deserves. Only at my college. Okay, so it's kind of fun. I'm excited to do it. I was able to put, like Travis Scott and Notorious B.I.G. and Tyler the Creator, Eric B. and Rakim, give an idea, new and old. And the idea is, it's about this respect. It's like, when is hip hop really going to get its full respect for its impact on culture and changing the world the way that it has? And I realized that I have not always been the most respectful hip hop fan. And that's partly because I'm very quick to dismiss things that I don't like. Part of this channel that I started 2 years ago, part of the goal has been to force me to find things that I like, discuss things that I like in genres of music and styles of music that I might not be immediately drawn to. And maybe you feel the same way I do, Maybe you just saw my video all about Conway the Machine and the Griselda, and you might think, this guy totally gets it. He knows all about real hip-hop. But you might be confused because I also gave a positive review of 6ix9ine, and I'm going to give a positive review of B.o.B. The idea is this, though, whether it's, Pop Smoke or Da Baby, there's all this sort of sing-songy rap music that sings a lot about, like, pills and sex and kind of emotional and singing and trap beats, that my initial reaction is just no. My initial reaction is just complete dismissal. But what I want to do is I go further now. Every time I hear it, I listen to a second song, a third song. I try to find what makes it good. I will never do a bad review on this channel. I think giving bad reviews is boring and pointless. If you hear me review it, that means I've given it my thumbs up. But still, with something like this, it's a little bit qualified because I'm not drawn to it. And B.o.B. is probably the easiest person to dismiss. Because what do I know about Bob? What do I know about him? I'll give you a hint. I put a map behind me on purpose. B.o.B. is that funny rapper who believes in flat earth. Ha ha ha, let's all point at the funny rapper. Let's just dismiss this guy because he's a flat earther. Listen, rock and roll stars, rap stars, music stars have believed some of the wackiest bullcrap ever. We should not be judging our musicians based on what they believe, okay? Especially flat earth, which is a mostly harmless conspiracy. Yes, it's anti-science, and anti-science leads to a lot of terrible mistakes, but still, someone believing that the world is flat is not the same thing as, being an anti-vaxxer or being a Holocaust denier. So what I want to do is I want to undismiss B.o.B. from my mind. I'm going to undismiss him. I've been working at this job where I am now for 10 years. I remember the first time I taught this class, the first person I asked, because I teach a class on hip hop, who's your favorite rapper? And they were like, B.o.B. I was like, you mean Bombs Over Baghdad? The song by Outkast? Outkast is your favorite group? No, B.o.B. And I listened, and I was like, yeah, that's too poppy, that's too singy. I dismissed him then. When I heard that he was the flat earth guy, I dismissed him then. But I'm a basketball fan. Kyrie Irving played really well for the Celtics. He's a flat earther. Why do we care what Kyrie Irving and B.o.B. think about the shape of the earth? There's some weird stuff going on there. I'm not saying it's kind of racist scapegoating, but I'm suggesting it heavily. Anyway, let's actually talk about B.o.B. and his album Somnia. The first thing I want to say is that it is a weird album. And it's my favorite kind of weird. It's weird that's not actually trying to be weird. Like, it's not like, I don't get the sense that he was like, I'm gonna make some futuristic sounds and have some flows and sounds that people just weren't expecting. It's like weird just by its nature, it feels. It's very sparse. It's not particularly pop. There's a lot of singing, but I don't feel like there's a lot of singles in here. At times it's quite emotional, a lot about kind of personal demons. And he's pretty good at making hooks and making songs. And in general, like, it's surprising that it's just one person on most of these songs. I would assume that there's like a singer and a rapper, but he's the singer and the rapper, and he does both of them pretty well. He's not a particularly good singer. He's definitely not a particularly good rapper in terms of, you know, his rhyme choice and what he's saying, but put together, and it's a solid album. And I don't know, are you a big Bob fan? A B.o.B fan? Are you a B.o.B hater? Is this exemplary of his music? I don't know, but this is, to me, what B.o.B is. So I'm going to talk to you more about it. I like the weirdness of it. I really do, because I listen to a lot of stuff and I try to force myself to get out of my comfort zone, and this provided me a lot more of an entry point. I mean, in particular, the title, Somnia. That's a great cover. I'm fascinated by insomnia. I suffer from insomnia right now. Since COVID started, I wake up like an hour after I go to bed every night, and I have a full-blown existential crisis. I think about existing and not existing. I have to get podcasts and play them to distract myself. Seriously, it's terrible. And you know, I can't get to bed. I'll like go downstairs and I'll just like pound a bag of tortilla chips that I dip in butter. I call them butter chips. I just pound them and then go back up to bed. It's terrible. So I don't think that's what B.o.B is talking about. I don't think he's talking about the insomnia of COVID, but still, just the title Somnia is quite interesting. And then this cover. B.o.B, what is this cover about? Why is there lumber here? Like, why is this a back of a lumber truck? Is this like a joke about sawing logs? Oh, it's a joke about... Because there's a couple times on here where there's ZZZ, you know, like the sawing logs. That must be it. That's why I put remnants of the deck behind me. My wife is like, why are you putting wood on the earth? Because of B.o.B. So let's kind of go. I want to actually play you a little bit of the first song, because the first song is my favorite track on the album. It's like a trap beat, but doing a little bit of that Kanye thing where there's like vocals that are processed through a keyboard and have kind of a strong feel. After Hours, on there, After Hours, and you can really hear how weird it is. There's these kind of laughs in the back and kind of sing-songy rapping, and I love this one line, no, my eyes ain't low, that's just how my eyes go. As somebody who has kind of deep-set eyes, or someone who often looks kind of disapproving at people, I like this idea. Like, no, that's there's nothing wrong with me. That's just how I look. I'm glad that he said that. So I'm going to play this. You know, I mean, for mostly this seems to be about like sleeping with women and doing pills with them. That seems to be most of the album is like, I have sex with women and I have a lot of pills. That seems to be what most of it's about. But still, there's pretty good triplet flow, which he uses sometimes in here. And I'm just going to play, 14, 15 seconds of it to get a sense of this unforced weirdness of B.o.B.
No, my eyes ain't low, that's just the way my eyes go. Think they gon' work out at home, she squat this pole like cardio. Real Bobby gotta jump and doing flips. Front flips, back flips, ooh, poor mattress. We just cracked the tab flip, feelings fantastic.
Right? That's pretty weird. Then you got this laughter in the background. There is a kind of dreamy feel to this entire album. Just like, After Hours. The next track is ZZZZ. The chorus opens here. Again, it seems to be about trying to sleep. And I like this. This is a good description of insomnia, actually. Something that I know, got a scheme on, just get your dream on, this ain't what it seems, find another cup to pour some lean on, so saying he's drinking coffee syrup to fall asleep, just to get your sleep on, just to catch some Z's. iPhone in my hand, go ring, ring, ring. Light bulb in my head, go bling, bling, bling. Eyeball on my head, see everything, thing. I just had a dream, what it mean. Maybe this is about insomnia. Maybe it really is, because this is how I feel. Just this line. And again, B.o.B, some Atlanta rapper, some success, who we all just look at and point and laugh at because he doesn't understand that the earth is round. It just is, sorry. It's not a position, it's just a fact. Anyways, but still, this line is a great lyric. Eyeball in my head, see everything, thing. That is what it's like to be in an insomniac state. Eyeball in my head, see everything, thing. It's great. Really weird chorus. It's cool because it's like a weird chorus and a kind of standard verse. So the chorus basically has nothing going on. There's like no instrumentation or very little. And then the chorus has the kind of trap drums. The outro is kind of boring, but then the pre-chorus has these strings. And there's all this kind of stuff at the very end with like vocalizing and strings. It sounds kind of innovative actually towards the end. So this is a good example. Really just give these first couple of tracks a shot to see what B.o.B might be about. What he might be about, because it's quite interesting what's happening here. Even though if you just listen to it first pass, you're kind of like, yeah, not my thing. Next track, Neon Demon, is another very, very weird track. It's kind of weird metallic sounds. And then this guy in the background just going, look at that demon! Look at that demon! It's kind of a menacing thing to say, look at that demon. And it's just going on in the back. It even like plays with it on the sampler. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that demon. Look at that demon. It's an interesting hook in a way, just to get something stuck in your head. The song kind of transforms at times. Like it doesn't really quite get started and then it starts to become a sing-songy thing. A lot of clumsy, dumb wordplay that's kind of clever. Clever or stupid, you let me know. She calls me demon, 'cause I've got that D, man. And she want 'bout 3 bands. She just get semen. Look at that demon! I don't know. kind of, she calls me a demon because she wants that D, man. It's kind of funny. And then the song takes a whole nother thing. And this is I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, okay? But it seems as though every rap album, no matter what the content is, now has to have at least one verse, usually one song, that shows some amount of social consciousness, some amount of demand for racial justice. I feel like you could do a supercut of just these verses, one after the other, after the other, after the other. But this is from a different angle. This is from the B.o.B angle, where it's conspiracy theories. But this is the thing. Some conspiracy theories are false in their fact, but true in their spirit. And this is an example of that. Now, the earth being flat is not true in spirit or in fact. But let's listen to this here. Masters pick their slaves, not a slave pick their masters. You don't know that you got played till about 10 years after. AIDS, cancer, brain samples, 8 years of propaganda, incarcerated in the slammer for people even know that crack was illegal. A tap on the needle, Reagan was serving them whole things. For people had boats and planes, we still took the blame for the cocaine, put you on a game, call me Damon, I'm weighing my options inside of this game. So inside here is discussing the way that the crack epidemic was handled, right? And there is a conspiracy theory, which is subscribed to by Killer Mike and other people as well, that Ronald Reagan was directly responsible for the crack epidemic. That like the Reagan administration actually put the crack on the streets. That's a conspiracy theory, and I don't think the facts back it up. But the spirit of that conspiracy theory is true as hell. The crack epidemic was not treated with respect, was not taken care of. Reagan absolutely drained the vitality and the energy out of the inner city and helped it and turned a blind eye and mass incarcerated. So, let's just laugh at him for the flat earth stuff, but let's not throw it all away, because this is a conspiracy which has value. It has value because it points at a larger truth. And so there we have kind of a message, but it's a confused message. All right, next track, Pressure. Speaking of confused, he seems to be upset that he's so dependent on all these drugs. There's this kind of funny, mournful chorus here. Another dumb joke. I hate to be blunt, but I'm blunted. I've known a lot of people who smoke a lot of dope, and they were never blunt. They're actually very roundabout. Doesn't matter. But this cool kind of mournful chorus where my mama asks me questions, all that smoking can't be safe. So an interesting kind of callback. Reminds me a little bit actually of The Flaming Lips, the album that I reviewed last week, where there's I'm doing drugs, I'm doing all this stuff, but then there's some little party that's still like, Mommy, am I okay? And that's kind of in here. Then we get the track Purpose with Big Crit. I guess Big Crit produced it. I don't know who Big Crit is. Every time he's released an album, I've listened to it and said no. So I'm going to be pushing myself to listen to Big Crit more because it's not my taste, but maybe there's something good here. His verse is pretty forgettable, although it is interesting. It does this thing, which I love, that modern rap music does, which indicates or opens up the crack so you can see underneath all the bragging about money, there's like a sadness and a desperation. Big Crit says, money is my therapy. Don't know who else to talk to. So sad. Hi, I need help. I'm suffering from post-traumatic stress. from difficult life situations. This is money, by the way, talking to me. That's all it says. And then later he says, I'm married to the bag, meaning the bag of money. Yeah, I like it. And it's emphasized by B.o.B's chorus, what's your purpose? I need my money urgent. Life's a bitch. I hope it's worth it. I need 50 of them bitches. Call me Curtis. A reference to 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson. So is he saying he needs 50 lives? In which case, that's interesting. I'd like 50 lives. When I wake up in the middle of the night and have a full-blown existential crisis about not existing, I think about that. It'd be nice to have 50 lives. Is that what he means? When he says life's a bitch and he needs 50 of those bitches, is he saying he needs 50 women or 50 lives? And are they the same? Is his search for never-ending gratification through sexual encounters just a way to try to delay and distract his mind from the thought of impending death? That's why in fun, the word fun doesn't exist in French. It does now, but only recently. It used to be, the only word you could say was divertissement, which means diversion. Diversion from your impending death. That's what fun is. I don't know. I don't think B.o.B is saying that on purpose, but I think a lot of trap rap music, a lot of gangster rap music is saying that. I mean, from all the way back. This desperation, this love of money is showing the lack of support underneath, the lack of connection underneath, the desperation underneath. Thank you, B.o.B. The next track, $40, ZZZ, is produced by B.o.B himself, which is cool. I guess he's also a producer. I am curious, if you are a Bob fan, could you put in the comments what's a good example of the best B.o.B song that he both produces and raps on? Because I love it when rappers do that. I really do. I think it's some of the best stuff, you know. Yeah, Bismarcky, EPMD, Mobb Deep, Eminem. I'm trying to think about people who do it really well. I love it when it's done really well. It's very weird. The song's very weird. The way it's produced, it feels very like computer produced, very clearly like putting these layers on, some great bass work on there, weird guitar instances, and just saying over and over again, do it for the gram, do it for the gram. But I can't tell if this is like sarcastic or serious. And he's basically singing the whole time. The next track, Dirt, is just a stripper song or a sex song. It's about twerking. I don't twerk. I've never twerked. I've never been with anybody who twerks. I've never actually seen twerking in person, but I understand that it's a thing where if you're a woman, you shake your butt, it goes up and down like that. It's kind of a stripper jam, but it's nice. It's got that good, I guess, southern bounce feeling. You know, this guy is from Atlanta, and it's the funny thing about rap is that since like the 90s, you can just always count on there being hundreds of songs every year about booties going low, and they will never run out of synonyms or metaphors or metonyms for explaining the glory and the value of getting low. In this case, it's digging in the dirt, presumably with your butt. You're digging in your dirt, jangling, jangling, jangling. Scrub the dirt. It does remind me a little bit of Get Shrifty by Rick and Morty, but I think that's intentional. He does say at some point, I ain't Paul Blart, meaning Paul Blart, the mall cop. Please, somebody, it's not on Genius. What the hell does Paul Blart mall cop have to do with a woman twerking? Please, I need your help. Professor Skye needs your help. I will remember you. What does it mean? I ain't Paul Blart. Why are you saying that, B.o.B? This is my conspiracy. I think B.o.B is Paul Blart. Have you ever seen Kevin James and B.o.B in the same room? Conspiracy. C-O-N. Conspiracy. The last three tracks are a little bit forgettable. So Soon, just kind of a trap beat. Interesting, one thing that they do here is that he does a good job of or the producers do a good job of just always chopping up his vocals and doing interesting things with them, like doubling them up or like cutting them in half or kind of like re-triggering the voices. That's some nice stuff all the way throughout, and I noticed that most on this track. Slizzy City, more sex stuff. This is gross. Just let's do drugs and have sex. I don't know if you need that many songs about doing drugs and having sex, but I guess that's what he's really all about. And then we end with Black Mirror, which is the most overtly existentially horrific song, kind of an emo song, honestly. It reminds me of, I don't know, Juice WRLD a little bit, or Pop Smoke, or that kind of like, sometimes I don't want to die, I don't want to live. That's what he literally says. Numb to the appeal, joy encapsulated. And then there's some French. He says, oui, oui. Pleasure is worse than pain. Wee wee. I don't know why he says wee wee. So there you go. There's my review of B.o.B. I'm not excited to go to his whole catalog and go through it. I will take some recommendations if people want to tell me what there is, but I don't think it's an artist who should be dismissed. I don't think that we should allow ourselves to just take entire areas of hip hop and just say, because as a me once said, it is the most influential cultural movement of 50 years. And it takes many different forms, and we need to appreciate and embrace all of it. Okay, well, I'm gonna go scrub the dirt with my booty. Till next time, for Andre 3000, there's the camera.